I'm Anthony. I'm basically an installation artist.
Hi, my name is Green. I'm an artist from Singapore. My art practice explores how history and identity is being constructed.
We were invited by Island. Basically, it's kind of like a showcase and an exhibition area that's run by Tan Pei Chuan. And then she invited both of us to do a duo show together. That's how we kind of got to know one another. And that was in year 2017. Yeah.
So in a way, the curator becomes some sort of like a matchmaker. You know how we are being brought together. Actually, we don't really know each other. I think that's the first time we met. Yeah, so yeah, it's quite interesting. But I never really asked her she sort of uh, arranged to have both of us together. Yeah, but in some way, I think it's because the thing we are interested in our art practice, in terms of history and that kind of things.
So the work and it's interesting. It's a very interesting space because it's like this very narrow corridor with two rows of like showcases. So the work has to be kind of pretty flat-ish. So they face and these two row of showcases faces one another. So they're really having a conversation. Once is on display. For my work, I was dealing with the history that's got to do with where it was, the location of Peninsula. Is it Plaza or shopping center?
It's in between both, in the Peninsula and Excelsior.
So, and that specific venue, the main historical reference that I took from was the fact that it was a former house of Coleman. Yeah. And so that became the starting point of the work.
I was basically quite interested in that the work is quite near the National Archive. So, and also I was already during that period of working on a series of mine called the Television Confession series. So I decided to create a series of work based on all the archival material I found in the archives. So I created a series of, newspaper artwork, which I removed some of the information and images throughout the weeks of the exhibition. Yeah, I think that's the thing that we both sort of decided to do. But in the exhibition, so we did a work together, and so in a way, we have some kind of we address each other's work in the exhibition too. Yeah.
So I've collected Green's Malay Exchange. It is not one of his so-called final piece of work. Actually, it's more like a experimentation move when he was trying to create a final work. And actually, I've known of this particular set of work many years ago. I've seen his work before. I know about him, but of course, I never met him, never spoken to him. So to me, this particular work was extra meaningful because there's a lot of imagination that kind of like dabbles with areas that I'm also interested in. This whole idea of nationhood, this whole idea of how it is actually very imagined and constructed, and elements that makes up this whole idea of nation, including symbols and icons, flags, and eventually to the point of looking at currencies, political figures. I mean, those are the typical depiction that you find on national currencies. So I've always been very drawn to this particular set of work. So when I approached Green to say, could it be possible that we exchange a piece of work? He actually agreed, and that was how it happened.
I've collected Anthony's work. It's called East of Swiss. One of the what you call that, some kind of a remnant from the installation. Yes. So yeah, I encountered the work I think in 2017 in a show called Open House. Holland Village, yes. And yeah, I was quite captivated by the work because it was quite an ambitious work in terms of concept and kind of and also the process of making it. And I was quite curious who's the artist was, I mean. And then I realized that the artist's name is Anthony Chin, and I've never met him before. So I put it at the back of my mind, and then when I was asked to participate in the Island show, and then I realized that one of the artists participating is Anthony. So I was quite excited. So yeah, that's how I found out about his work, and also and so that's the first time I encountered his work. And then when we started to recently we decided to exchange artworks. Yeah, so it's quite surprising that he chose a work that, from the first time I met him, which is through his work.
Yeah, I was more specific. I was the one who asked for, I call it the currency work, whereas for Green, he left it to me. I mean, whichever I would prefer to kind of like exchange with him. But knowing that because that was the piece of work that he first encountered my practice, so I thought it was a suitable kind of piece of remnants to exchange. Yes, I do collect some other artists' work, but however, I'm not an avid art collector, not a serious one. I think I would approach artists to exchange work more than anything else. I do collect in terms of money exchange in terms of money only when I feel that it is something that is of special interest to me, and I'm really attracted to it. But most of the time, I would say that when that happens is because I feel that as an artist, I understand that the support is important. Yeah, so that's why I'm willing to kind of financially commit to certain work. Yeah.
I do not really. I'm not an art collector. However, I do collect artworks from friends or artists who I think have some kind of mutual understanding or some kind of kinship. I look at it as a kind of like a sort of like the artwork that I collect as a kind of encapsulates our friendship. You can say that some people exchange photographs or whatever friendship band, but I think by exchanging the artwork itself is something I find it quite interesting. So yeah, that's how I don't really collect artwork. That's how I look at it. Yeah.
For visitors going to a show like that, I presume above and beyond seeing artworks, I think they see the relationship. Yeah, I guess that's the major difference when it comes to a show like that.
Well, it depends though, because I think in our case it's quite different. We didn't really buy the artwork per se. When we exchanged artwork, I'm not sure the other artists did they buy the artwork or not. So yeah, in a sense, yeah, it is more about the two works that we are showing. Like basically, it's a kind of like a reflection of our friendship. Yeah, and yeah, so yeah, I'm quite curious about the other artists or what sort of artwork they collect, or is it because they like the artwork, or is it because it's their friends, or what sort of extent, what sort of work they collect. Yeah, so I'm quite curious about it. Yeah. Because normally I don't really tell people about what I collect or what I exchange the artwork with. In fact, sometimes I even collect it. I don't even show it. I put it into the store, and then nobody has seen it. Like for example, one of my favorite work I collected is a work by my teacher, Zeng, and it's been in the store for years. And I exchanged the artwork because I was one of the students. And I know recently when you talk about this show, I remember which is one of the very early artwork that I collected, and it's one of her work. And it wasn't even like I didn't buy it, and I exchanged it with her because we decided that this is a good idea, because after a long kind of a student-teacher relationship. Basically, it's also a bit like Anthony. We know each other for a long while, and then we also started working together, and we decided to exchange the artwork as a kind of like a memento. I don't know.
You can say that it's a memento. Yeah.
So it's not about art collecting, basically. Yeah, that's how I look at it.